What's going on, guys? Zennosh here, and today in this video of Calibria Crystal Gardens, let's do a hero review of this amazing recently released unit known as Genesis. He's a tank type unit and a light element affinity. He's a 5-star net character unit. That means, yeah, it's super duper hard to pull, right? And somehow you managed to get him out of all those oddities and possibilities. Let's see like how good he's actually going to be, like in your inventory. So right over here at level of 35, he's going to have HP of 16,755, which I really don't think is that super duper amazing cool. It's just like for a tank type unit. Attack is going to be 851 average. Defense is going to be 875 average. Speed is going to be 101 average. Yes. If you guys have different opinion, please let me know in the comment section below. I might be wrong. Okay. So let's go into the skill tree. Let's see like what his skills really are and how he's going to be unique and amazing compared to the other units. Or maybe not. So first skill is going to be skill number 1, which is named Fail Cleave. Well, what does it mean? Anyways, attack an enemy to deal 240% of attack and 16% of own max HP in damage. Reduce the target's attack for 2 turns. Well, that's a really good nuke, and he can actually do some really good damage with his fast skill. And that's said and done, he can also inflict that target's attack reduction for 2 turns, which is obviously going to be really good against the boss battle. So obviously for Catacombs, I would really love to recommend this guy for you guys. And yes, with this thing being around, I mean like really good nuke, and there is like a really good utility support right over there. I mean like if you can just reduce the target's attack, that means your overall team might can actually have a really increased survivability and endurance. I mean like just think about it, like the boss is actually doing some really good cleave damage, AoE damage. He's actually just getting rid of your team just like that, and in that case you are just going to reduce his attack, and in that case guys, I mean like you might have a next shot. All right, so that's that. Fail Cleave, just try to go with the counter rune set, and it's going to be a very frequent thing. Next thing is going to be Rift Axe. Skill number 2A. It says erase all negative status effects first, right away, right off the bat, and then attack an enemy to deal 280% of attack and 19% of own max HP in damage. Gain immunity for 1 turn at the end of attack turn. 50% chance for immunity to effect to last 2 turns. Wow, that's really great. Right off the bat, this skill is going to be superb for arena defense. I would not say for arena offense though, but for arena defense, this thing is going to be super duper cool. The thing is that like it has a really good attack damage right over there. He's actually going to get rid of all the negative status effects right off the bat, and also at the same time he's also going to get some immunity just for himself. I did not say that like it's going to be really super for any other contents right out there. He might have like some really good like compatibility with the Leviathan 10. Yeah, that can actually be a possibility right out there, because like yes, he can actually dispel all those negative status effects and just cast that immunity effect on him. So that's all I can see, but there is no such sort of like super duper utility to suppress the opponent. First thing. And he's not actually providing that kind of utilities for entire team. He's being shellfish, so I don't think it's a very super duper skill. But for arena defense, it's actually going to be really cool indeed. So you can put him in the arena defense. Yay! Next thing is going to be Upheaval. So right over here, guys, the skill 2B, it says attack and deal 165% of attack and 11% of own max HP, oh my, in damage to all enemies. All right, it's an AoE skill that he has. Well, that's like, all right, that's pretty average type of damage right out there. And has a 50% chance to burn the targets for 2 turns, and that's all there is to it. Well, burn is the dot type of skill that pretty much like reduces the 5% of max HP of the opponent per turn, right? Yeah, there we go. That's how it is. And it's actually good for the Colossus, like the Colossus or the Leviathan, or let's say any kind of like Catacomb dungeons right over there. And that's that, guys. But 50% chance, it's not really that super, but obviously when you when you are going to skill enhance it up, 50% chance will just convert to 60% chance, and he's only going to attack it just for 1 turn. So there is only a 1-shot chance to have that 60% chance to land those burn debuff on the opponent. And I really don't think it's really that superb. It's like Upheaval. This skill is pretty much like a trash for me. Honestly, it's a trash for me. 60% chance is not really that superb, provided that he's only going to strike just once. And well, if you guys have different opinion, please let me in the comment section below, because there are so many other freaking awesome units who can pretty much inflict the burn on the opponent like Yaksha, right? This guy, I really don't feel any kind of, super duper vibe from him till now. Anyways, let's move on to skill 3A. Genesis Cleave. Yes, he can cleave, guys. It says attack all enemies 2 times. Each attack deals 70% of attack and 5% of own max HP in damage and has a 50% chance to prevent targets from being buffed for 2 turns. So he can actually apply that cannot buff negative status effect on the opponents, which can be pretty cool, especially if you are trying to apply it in the arena contents. And yes, he's actually going to hit all enemies 2 times. So there is actually a really good chance that he can actually land that thing. And if you skill enhance it up, there's going to be a 60% chance. So yay! It's cool. It's good. Because like if you can trigger, or let's say if you can just inflict that cannot buff debuff on the opponents, that opponent won't be able to just buff themselves up in any kind of way. Like there are certain hero units right out there who can pretty much put a lot of health regen or maybe revive buff or whatever there is, attack buff or whatever kind of buff is going on right out there, that pretty much like gives a tremendous advantage to the enemy team by themselves. It can actually be a really big problem, and if you can just make that happen of like making them unable to be buffed, it's going to be super cool. I like it. I really love it. And for 2 turns, not only just 1 turn, for 2 turns, that's cool. And at the end of the turn, increases all allies resistance critical rate and regen 15% HP each turn for 2 turns. So it's going to actually provide a really good defensive property to everyone. So yeah, that's cool right out there. I would say this obviously can be a useful skill, especially for the arena offense. Yeah, but I really don't see super duper amazing thing happening right out here. I mean, like, being able to make the opponents unable to be buffed is like one thing, but like it kind of lacks the juice in my opinion. I mean, like, this needs to be something else, more to it, which pretty much can turn the table, like reducing the energy of the opponent. That would have been super duper cool. But hey guys, I mean, it's really up to you guys. I mean, like, what do you guys think about it? I would just say that it's like average, not super duper cool, but being able to make the opponent cannot buff is like, all right. So anyways, let's move on to the next one. That's going to be skill 3B, passive Open the Skies. When being attacked, there's going to be a 100% chance to grant a random 1-turn negative status effect to all enemies and reflect 5% of max HP in true damage. True damage, guys. True damage pretty much, I think, ignores the defense of the opponent. Yes, it doesn't really have to, go through the defense. So the damage is just like, boom, there we go. So more HP he has, the more damage he's actually going to deal. And then I said, it just feels like this guy is going to be a superb arena defense kind of character unit. Yeah, that's what I can really say about him. I really don't actually say that like he's going to be a super duper arena offensive kind of team right out there, because he's more passive type. Okay, it's really more passive type. He actually just provides a really great, defensive or enduring properties to the team. Nothing sort of like offensive type of skill or ability right out there. So you cannot actually use him in a fast clearance team, in my opinion. So if there is a defensive team going on out there, then he can actually be a really good part of that one. That's it. So he can also reflect only 1 attack if taking the damage from the multi-hit attacks, possible status effects, taunt, silence, whatever kind of like negative status effect that you can think is right over here. So yeah, that's it. Alright, so yeah, well, this is truly going to be a very good arena defense capability right out there. You can pretty much use for that one. I cannot actually see like any other uses for this one. It's like, all right. Arena defense, totally for arena defense. Skill 3C, it says passive King's Land. At the start of battle and every own attack turn, 100% chance to grant a 2-turn shield with 8% of Genesis max HP to all allies. Yeah, cool, right? Shielded allies resist all crit hits. Wow. This is also going to be another like arena defense type of skill. Or if you are going to go for like the catacombs, the dungeon hunts, then this is actually going to help your entire team to have better defensive property against the opponents. Okay, and I think it's gonna be pretty great. I mean, like, you are going to have the barrier, obviously, which is going to absorb the damage, absorb the incoming damage, right, on the first place. And also at the second hand, as long as the shield is active, it's not gone out, what's going to happen is that, like, you are not going to suffer any kind of critical hits, no sort of critical hit damages. Okay, so in that case, you pretty much are going to have a really good endurance, especially in the arena teams as well. So in the arena offense as well, somehow, if you really are kind of like planning to get more endurance, more vitality, more, you know, like survivability, then he can actually be a part of your team. But having no such type of like offensive capability is not actually going to be a really good part of any kind of speed clearing team, whether it be the arena or, let's say, whether it be the PvE contents. All right, so that's what I have to really say to you guys. Let's look into his leader skill. All allied heroes HP plus 50%. All right, guys. Higher the HP he has, the more damage he's going to deal, and obviously at the same time he's also going to improve the survivability of everyone out there. So this is pretty cool in my opinion. If you are actually going to include other HP based heroes, like, I forgot his name. Destruction Idol. Yeah, Destruction Idol. Like those kind of units in the team, then yes, you can actually do a lot of damages right out and around. So try to make him a part of a HP based team. This leadership skill is pretty cool in my opinion. But he's not a mind-boggling type of unit, like, let's say, amazing, super duper wonderful, a wow type of unit. At max he can go to the S tier, but for right now I believe that he actually belongs to A tier. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below, right? You're always free to comment. So anyways, now let's move on forward to the runes. What sort of runes will really help him out? Well, he's more of a defensive type unit, so you would really want to give him really good defensive type of runes as well. So I would really recommend you guys, first of all, obviously going for the Blessing rune. More HP he has, the more damage he's going to deal, and plus he's going to have more endurance, right? 2 birds with 1 stone, and that's that. Please try to focus a lot of speed stats on his substats, and that's going to help him around. But in the core, he really needs a lot of HP, and that's that, guys. All right. The next thing is going to be the Drain runes. Yeah. I mean, like, think about it. He has a lot of like defensive capabilities on him already. So all he needs to have is like some extra HP gaining capacity, so that like he can just, you know, like keep on building up his own HP over time. And that can be quite problematic for the opponents, especially during the arena defense type. All right, and having the Drain rune is going to be quite helpful for him as well. And with the 6 pieces, he converts the extra HP to a shield as well, which is like, oh, that's superb, that's cool, guys. All right, so yeah, next rune is going to be Drain, and the last rune obviously is going to be Counter. As I told you guys, in his first skill, he pretty much like decreased the attack of the enemy by up to like 2 turns, right? So that's really great indeed. That pretty much like can increase the endurance or survivability of your entire team, especially if you are engaged in a boss battle fights. So yeah, Counter rune can actually be quite good as well. With 3 Counter rune sets, you are going to have a 45% of counter you know, like chance, and that is not really that bad. Right? So yeah, there we go. A Blessing plus Drain plus Counter, or you can just have a mix max between them. Okay, just try to go for a hybrid or whatever that is. And I really don't think like there is any kind of like best type of rune out there. It's really up to you how you are going to use him. He's not a super duper amazing unit, so you know, like, it's really up to you on how you really want to be creative about him. All right, and that's that. How about the primary stats? Well, for this second slot, guys, please try to go with the HP percentage boost. Yeah, you can go with the speed boost as well, but HP percentage boost is going to be really fine. Go for the speed boost in the substats. Yeah, HP percentage boost, because like higher the HP he has, the more damage he's going to deal, and plus he's going to have more endurance. And yes, all his damages are based on his HP also at the same point, right? And that's the thing right over there, guys. All right, and he's also going to provide a really good barrier if he has a lot of HP, and he's going to reflect even better damage to the opponents, because he has 5% of his HP as the true damage to the opponent, right? Yeah, that can pretty much hurt the opponents. All right. Yeah, so there are a lot of passive ability effects that he has, which you can pretty much rely upon in order to have him work in a most effective way. So that's that, guys. Number 4, still HP percentage boost, or you can go with the critical hit rate or critical damage, but I would go with the HP percentage boost. I mean, like, simply, guys, because like he is really meant to give you guys support rather than dealing some really great insane damage. Well, with a lot of HP percentage boost, he's going to deal some good damage, but also at the same point he will have increased like potential for giving more defensive property to entire team. Yeah, right, yes, all those kind of stuff. So that's that, guys. In the 6th slot, same thing. You can go with a hit percentage boost as well, but well, his burn is not really that super duper amazing in my opinion. But if you really want to really focus on his first skill that pretty much decreases the attack of the opponents by up to 2 turns, right? You can go with the hit percentage boost, but still you can go with the HP percentage boost. Okay, so in summary, the best primary stat or main stat that you can put on the 2nd slot, 4th slot, and the 6th slot is obviously going to be HP percentage boost. All right, with some certain choices that you have on your own hand, because please try to focus on the speed stat and the effectiveness or hit percentage stat on his substats. All right, so that's that. All right. So when we are actually finally going to talk about the substats, what are the substats that is going to really help him a lot? First of all, it's going to be speed stat. Come on, there is no way how we are actually going to get a lot of speed right over here. So like, please try to just base it on the substats that you have or additional stats that you have. So first stat priority that you really should have in mind is going to be speed stat. All right. Next thing is obviously going to be his HP percentage boost. Speed boost, HP percentage boost, very primary, very primary. The third is obviously going to be defense percentage boost, because like more defense you have, the more higher the value of your HP points. Yes, it will be really hard for the opponent to get rid of your HP. And finally, it's going to be the hit percentage boost, because he has a different. He can decrease the hit chance of the opponent. He can decrease the attack of the opponent. Sorry about that one. He can decrease the attack of the opponents, and that's going to be super duper great, especially combined with the counter rune set. It's going to be really effective indeed. And finally, it's going to be resistance. All right, so if you can actually give him some really good resistance, that can be really good as well. You know, this resistance right over there on the substats, that obviously will help him to resist even more like debuffs or negative status effects coming from the opponents, even though he has skill 2A right out there to cleanse all those negative status effects. But still, you would really want to have be in the safe side. So that's that, guys. In summary, guys, I would say like he is like he is most likely to be in the 8 tier, most likely to be in the 8 tier. Because like I really don't see any kind of like super duper amazing table turning type of potential in this guy. If I somehow manage to get this guy, I would be really super duper sad. Yeah, like what the hell? Yes, right? Because he's a 5-star night hero unit and he's a light affinity, and there are so many other units right out there in the light affinity, like let's say Jews, Eve, Dow Lord. Dow, right? Dow. Yeah, I think Dow is the light unit as well. Sorry, sometimes my mind is just screwed up. Anyways, those kind of units are right over there who are pretty much amazing performance. And compared to them, this guy is quite underwhelming in my opinion. That's that, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button to keep on enjoying the contents of my channel. See you guys in the next video.